Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single £1.20, a return only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and it does help if I put myself into today's live broadcast. I'm, of course, your host, Martin the Governor Lambert. No, there's no excuses now. I mean, I'm should be good at this point, and the fact that I'm not probably suggests I never will be. But hey, we're here. It's Thursday. The weekend is right around the corner. Town play again. And hands up. Let's be honest. Hands up. How many times have you watched all 6 goals from Tuesday? 12 times? 20 times? 50 times? Yeah, I can't get enough of it, let's be honest. 6 goals, an absolute delightful performance. A foundation, a corner has been turned, rather. Not a turner has been corned. Not quite sure where that came from. But yeah, looking forward to getting the thoughts of my 2 wonderful contributors today. We've got the Prediction League. We've got Accrington Stanley look ahead. We've got a wheel of names coming back. That's right. We've got the lost count, says Robert Smith. Absolutely, Robert. That's the way to be, my brother. It really, truly is. Colin is after a few beers on Saturday. Because, of course, there's plenty of Town fans going this weekend, which is absolute. Of course, we travel in numbers. Of course we do, particularly after a 6-0 hammering of Doncaster. I mean, you know, they are bottom of the table, but still, their results have been much closer. We'll look ahead to Accrington Stanley. I've got the giveaway, the Matt Stannard Spot Prize, never lost at home e-ticket to be given away for those that got the correct score last week. That was the Wednesday Town game. There's 7 of you: Curtis Yates, Joe Green, Ben Durham, Ian Houston, Jeremy Crawley, Alfie Hughes, and Richard Moss. Please do not let it be Richard Moss. But I want to start tonight's show with some very quick mention and shout out to Chris Wade. He is doing the London Marathon this weekend. That's right. So this Sunday is the London Marathon. Here is the giving page for him. I'm going to put it on a full screen layout. He is doing it for a cause that's very close to his heart. He is so close to his total. He wants to raise £5,000. He's got £4,877.34. So please, if you can, you know, and only if you can, head over to Virgin Money. I'll pop the link somewhere, and if I don't, come and shout at me on Twitter and Facebook, and give me a right good moan and a prod with a stick, and I'll make sure to give it to you. But let's see if we can just get him over that magical figure before he sets off, because I couldn't do 1 minute, let alone a London Marathon. Right. The 2 contributors are ready. Let's bring in the new boy first. Let's not leave him waiting any longer. I'm sure he's ready and eager to get those minutes under his belt. It is, of course, long-time viewer turned contributor, Lewis Robertson. Lewis, welcome in, my man. How you doing?
Evening, Gov. Yeah, good. Looking forward to being a part of tonight, especially off the back of the 6-0.
You've sent the exactly. It's a good time to come into the podcast, but you've sent the community into a bit of a discussion. You know, what sort of debut are we going to get? Are we going to get a Sonny Aluko, a Larson Torre, a Mark Fish? It's, you know, what sort of debut do you want to put? Do you want to try and nail it early doors and say, look, I'm going to be JT.
I'll take a debut like Grant Ward, but maybe not the shows after that. You know, maybe a slight improvement on Grant Ward following his debut. But yeah, Grant Ward debut will do for me.
Yeah, absolutely. He hit the ground running with a hat trick, never looked back, and never reached those heights again, as you say. Obviously, got a hat trick just gone this weekend, this Tuesday night, which we'll talk about as we get into it. But Crunchy says Mark Fish debut. Let's hope not. I don't think you'll never be in danger of a Mark Fish debut unless you're on the Adam Flat internet package, where you come and you go so many times, everyone loses track of if you were ever a part of the show. But what's it like so far being this side of the camera? As opposed to being at home where you are there chilling out watching the Talking Town crew. How's it feeling so far?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I've been a listener since the beginning.
Good man.
Chip in with the odd comment. Appeared a few times during the Euros with Scotland and their escapades, but didn't last for too long. I was only involved for about a week. But yeah, it's good to be this side. And I think, as I said to you before the show, can't be nervous when you're talking about Ipswich Town. It's, just got to get on with it. But I've got a bit of Dutch courage with me anyway, just in case, or Brazil
Good
courage.
Man. Good man. One of the best ones, that one. But then they kind of mentioned, I do remember seeing you at the final for Scotland and then winning it. Yes, I knew I'd recognise you from somewhere.
Scotland 0-0 draw, wasn't it?
Scotland's famous 0-0 draw. Should we talk about how it went afterwards for both teams, or should we leave that for another day?
No, we're planning for the World Cup, and hopefully we'll have Scott Fraser inside by then, and yeah, he'll be established regular.
Yes, hopefully by then he might be a championship player. Nathan Edwards was in my barbers yesterday and said that he's training and might take the bench Saturday. Cruncher doesn't sound very Scottish. Ben Moore, the least Scottish man. Ben, I don't think you want me to listen to talk about anything with your fantasy record the way it is. I think just need to listen to what Lewis has got to say. You might learn something. Do you know Ben's on minus points in his fantasy league?
I had heard. I think it's been brought up a couple of times, but yeah, I don't think I'm doing too much better, to be honest. I had for the whole of the summer, I think I had Bruno Fernandes in my team, and I took him out before the first game. He scored a hat trick. I changed my mind last minute, so yeah, I don't think I can talk either. But for all the people saying I don't sound very Scottish, I've got a kilt on underneath this. So, but before the watershed and all that, probably
Kilty.
best not to reveal.
There you go. You see, Kilty. I told you that nickname might work. Stephen Perry, PC said on the EFL pod has a fully fit squad. There you go. That's good news. Fully fit would mean Coulson as well. So I know one of you has got Coulson in their lineup. Not going to say which one yet, but that's an interesting development. Right. Let's bring in the man with the cinematic introduction. He needs no intro, but he's got one, and it's the best one we've got at Talking Town Towers. Some say, and this is not me, but some do say, it's the reason why we're an SJ finalist. No words ever needed. I just love that intro. I don't know what I was on that day, but fuck me, I've had my Weetabix that morning. Mark, welcome in. It's been a long time. We have to get these dates a lot closer together because I need to hear that intro in my life more. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. In fact, Tuesday night, you were a lot like the guy in the intro because you came from nowhere. And then you slipped into the night.
I came and I went, yeah.
It's like, I turned my back 1 minute and you were there. And I was like, oh, Mark, I'll grab him in a second, say hello. And then I turned back. And was Mark ever there? That is the question.
Elusive. Yeah, unfortunately I had to shoot off, but I will say it was really good to meet a lot of the people that were kind of outside the statue, the fisherman, Cruncher, Matt, Callie, all that lot. So it's really good to meet you in person. And yeah, obviously it's now a community, really, isn't it? It's it's not just online. It's with everyone there as well. So it's really good.
Absolutely. No, he's got goosebumps. You see, the new James Bond won't give you goosebumps, but Mark Tuxford's intro to Talking Town will do. You say you're elusive there, Mark. This elusiveness is off the charts with yourself. But another player who's elusive Tuesday night, particularly, was Lee Evans. I mean, Doncaster just simply did not know where he was at any point. A hat trick for the guy. Talk to me. You were obviously there Tuesday, the first game you've been to all year, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was
What
my
a
first league game of the season in my new season ticket seat. I had been to 2 previous cup games, but watching Lee Evans was a bit of a masterclass for him, if I'm honest. I've said before the game to my mate Carl that I wasn't really sure why he was in there because there's probably better options you could have put in. I thought Tom Carroll was doing quite well. I know he had, from what Cook has said since, he's had a bit of an injury, but it's also the partnership that Cook has mentioned as well, where they've played together, for Cook. It's a tried and tested partnership. Obviously, got promotion with him as well. So, these are things that work. And I think we'll probably come on to Morsey a little bit later on, but he's kind of allowed Evans, I think, to have that bit more freedom in the centre of the midfield. So I think it's going to be good, not for just us, but it's going to be for Lee Evans' role as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Morsey, Lewis, Tux just brought him up. Let's quickly go to him as well. I mean, was it all Morsey's impact that allowed Evans to go and be the player that we hadn't seen previously? Was it all Morsey that we won 6-0? A lot was made of his debut, and then a lot happened in the debut. Talk to me about him, really.
I do think Morsey's presence allowed Evans to play his natural game. I think since the start of the season, I mean, to start with, it was Evans and Harper, and Evans was kind of the seasoned pro. But I mean, from the games I've seen, that's possibly not Evans within Evans' character to kind of be that leader. Yes, he was made captain, possibly more for kind of setting that example and Cook knowing and trusting him, but not necessarily having that bite and tenacity. But I think the interesting thing was, and if we go back to the Evans headed goal, I think when we went 3-0 up, it was a goal kick from Doncaster keeper, dropped in the centre circle. Evans came steaming through and won the header. And the ball played out and ended up with Selena, and then he arrived late with the header. And that kind of tenacity of Evans kind of ploughing through the middle to win that header at the beginning, we just didn't see in the first few games. And it was almost a bit like with a less experienced midfielder in Harper. I think that impacted on Evans' game, whereas with Morsey, Evans could get on and play his natural game more. And I think Morsey brought a hell of a lot to the team, and it's a difficult question to answer in that, was he the reason we won 6-0? He absolutely played a massive part, and I don't think anybody would underestimate the role he played within that. But I just think across the team, you could see the confidence grow. I think even, Matt Penny, the first 5-10 minutes was a bit shaky, but he grew into the game, and everyone just seemed to kind of puff their chests out. And yes, Morsey probably led by example with that and set the standards. But I think as a team, we are maturing as well.
Absolutely. Sorry, Lewis, a super chat, £5 from the Cruncher. Thank you very much, Richard. I didn't want to cut across you there, Lewis. You're the new guy on the block. And Cruncher knows when a super chat comes in, you've got to sort of cut across whoever's talking. And he was testing the waters early days there. You know what Cruncher's like. And I was like, no, I'm not going to interrupt Lewis.
It's that dodgy first loose ball Mark Fisher's got to clear.
Absolutely.
Cruncher served me a difficult one.
He did, and I was either Inga Marson you, just watching you, sort of thinking, I could get involved, but I probably won't. But Mark, Morsey there, Lewis. Let's see if you can get a £5 while you're talking, because Lewis has already got money to his name. Look, skins in the game. No, Morsey. Talk to me about Morsey, Mark, because obviously Lewis has painted a good picture there, really.
Yeah, I completely agree with what he said. I think Morsey's come in and he's dictated the play from the minute he was on the pitch, really, for me. And as I said before, him coming in allows Evans to go a bit further forward. Morsey just essentially sits, doesn't he? And he just kind of, dictates that play, as I said before. But yeah, it's a really good signing. I said on the way home to my mate that, he's going to be the key player that's going to be for this season. You can have all the Bonds, you can have the Edmonton, goalkeeper, whoever it's going to be, but that main man in that central midfield is going to be key for us. And that's obviously Morsey.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ben says first time this year, I think we had a huddle. Did you see the huddle there, Mark? Did you? I know you're a fan of huddles.
Yeah, I quite like it from a point of view that, you know, it just shows a little bit of more, you know, togetherness on the pitch as well, that we're all kind of fighting the same cause. You know, you don't have to do a huddle. You know, you can probably do that in the dressing room or wherever you're going to do it. But, you know, it's a good way to, you know, begin a game, I suppose, as well, especially when you're just about to kick off. You know, the captain says something. I think Luke Chambers was a little bit of a fan of it, where he'd get people in a huddle and, you know, give them the what for and everything else. So there you go. Jesus Christ, look at that.
Right. Wow. Crunch has won the lottery. Beers are on Crunchy this weekend. EIO super sticker, £50. I thought that said £5. I was about to say super sticker.
He probably thought it said £5 and then put an extra zero on it.
You ain't getting it back, Crunch. Not a chance. Sorry, 50 quid.
There's another one there as well.
Oh, there is. You're right, David. Come through with £5. Look at this. It's all going. It's raining goals, and now we're raining money. But thank you very much, David. We really do appreciate your £5. Thank you, sir. You'll stay on the screen with that lovely winky face of yours because Sam Morsey made you wink, I'm sure. Huddles. I am a fan of huddles. When I was manager, I used to like my teams to have huddles. We did do a little thing, but this was a men's team, and they hated this. But I made. Because I knew they hated it, I made them do it every single week. That's put your hands in the middle, and in 3, 2, 1, say the team's name. So it was like, well, you know, G them up, and then hands in the middle, 3, 2, 1, and it was the team, and they hated it. But they hated it with that sort of, we're gonna say we hate it, but really, we love it. But we're fully grown blokes with beards and beer bellies, so we shouldn't love it. But I'm a big fan of huddles. I think it's the final chance, particularly as a team, to get that point back across of what the manager needs, what the manager wants. And now it's Neil Perks, £5. Look at this. Absolutely raining money. Love it, Neil. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. And I just think it's a great chance for the captain to say, now it's down to us. He's done his job. Now we do ours. What I'll do, guys, is I will all the money that comes in tonight for these super chats. I really do appreciate them. I truly do. But I'm going to donate them to Chris Wade's London Marathon cause. I think that's really good. I think it's worthwhile. He's running the marathon, so whatever comes in, I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So please don't think that I do, because I really, really do. But I think on this instance, I think Chris needs that support from us. So let's give that to him. Talking of support, Macaulay Bonne up the front. He don't need nobody, does he? He's just everything he touches is a goal.
Yeah, I think he's that type of player where, you know, you do lump the ball up to him and it just sort of sticks to him. And it's, you know, he kind of reminds me of, you know, a better Norwood. And I'm a big fan of Norwood. Unfortunately, he just can't stay fit. But it's one of these sort of things where he's got that nasty streak about him, Bonne. You know, he's got that. He wants to, you know, get in the ear of that central defender. He wants to be, you know, behind him. He's quick as well. That's the thing about him. He's very quick. So he's an all-round kind of striker. But my fear is that I think Warburton's going to come back for him in January. That's my real fear. Because you know, that's the thing with QPR, though. They've got 4 good strikers there. They've got Andre Gray and Charlie Austin. You know, we'd have those. Do you know what I mean? But unfortunately, if they're not scoring and you've got
we could have had Charlie Austin.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, when we had Kiefer Moore and he was banging goals in at a lower league, you know, we were saying, oh, get him back because he's scoring. We weren't scoring at the time. So if we had got him back, that might have been a bit different because it was a player scoring goals. He was on form and he had confidence.
£20, Matt Stannard. Go, Chris. Epic cause. Absolutely, Matt Stannard. You are absolutely right. Callie's coming with it. Callie, love that, Martin. Count me in. Callie, who drove all that way from Birmingham, Mark, would you believe, on a Tuesday night, aquaplaned himself home. He arrived by car. He left by boat. It was that bad of weather. It really was. But yes, love it. Matt, Callie, thank you. I'm sure Chris will be really appreciated. Ben was a big fan of huddles. Another voice to hear from. Us coach can only say so much, and it reiterates our point with added points. Afternoon, Mr. Ipswich Town. Bonne is class, said Facebook user Carl Brooks. I think we need to give QPR an offer they can't refuse. Mark mentioned QPR there, Lewis. He said it's QPR. And if you had to name your championship club that I tested more than anybody else, it'd probably be QPR. So yes, they probably will recall him in January, Mark, because that's QPR style. Talk to me, because obviously Charlie Austin, we could have had Lewis at one point in his career.
Is In the office, we just couldn't find the pen.
Just need one of these bad boys, you know. Didn't mind what colour it was going to be. Even the signees dot his name away, but no, Cleggy. The rumour has it, lost the pens. I mean, obviously, you know, pound shop. I mean, at that point, to go off course, but at that point, I'm pretty sure the shop round the corner was still open. You know, the ones, was it Staples or whatever it was called? The fucking nip round. You got Charlie Austin in the office. Nip round and buy a pen. Get some petty cash out, boys. Anyway, Lewis, Macaulay Bond, talk to me about him.
Yeah, I think
£5 Chris Peachy, by the way. Sorry, £5 Chris Peachy. Good shout, Peachy. Love it, Peachy. Go on, Lewis.
No, I think with Macaulay Bond, Tux made the comparison to Norwood, and I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I think what we've seen already with Bond is similar to Norwood. Give him a chance where he has to think about it. You think about the one-on-one in the first couple of minutes last Saturday. I was at Cheltenham. I'm still haunted by the open goal miss, you know. But when he plays on instinct, that's when he's at his best. And that second goal he got the other night was absolute quality, because the ball came over, he chested it, but that actually took him away from goal. And he was on half turn and still managed to spin, hit it, left foot volley. Keeper got hand to it, but had no chance. It was such a good finish. And he absolutely loves it. You see the videos after the game, jumping on players' backs, you know, singing along, getting the crowd pumped up. And I think we need that. We need someone that we can relate to. And I think that because of that connection he has with the fans, it's worth potentially paying that little bit more to get him. And I wouldn't be surprised if, as part of the loan deal, Mark Ashton's already proven he's clever operator. There must have been some sort of negotiation about price. But talking of price, I can see more donations coming in.
You can. I'm winding it up. I'm about to go £5 for Matt Wynn. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, Matt. Lewis, you're doing well. Whatever you're doing well. You've cast a spell this evening. Hovercat, though, says, all very exciting, but it's important we don't forget Torquay. Now, I don't even know what that was referring to. Anthony Steele, £5. Love it, Anthony Steele. Thank you very much. Chris Wade, we are doing you. Good turn tonight, my brother. You go and smash that marathon on Sunday. I'll keep banging the drum. Do a Bob Geldof. Give us your bloody money now. What is it? What is Torquay then, guys? I mean, obviously I know where it is and what it is, but
don't know. The only thing I associated Torquay was Helen Chamberlain on Soccer AM.
Yes, because she was a Torquay fan. That's right. That comes back to me. I'll tell you what, I remember at Soccer AM with the old Tim Lovejoy. Soccer, is it the Soccerettes?
Soccerettes, yeah.
Yeah, with the old car wash song. Oh yeah. Stephen Parry, £5. Absolutely love it. Lewis Knox, surely QPR would want around 3 million. Although I think the owners will put the money where the mouth is. If it's not silly money, I do have faith this time that the owners will do what needs to be done. The Cheltenham miss really shows Bond's character, says Carl Brooks. So many players would have lost confidence and gone into hiding. He's done the opposite. Ben Moore. Ashton, if he cuts you up in traffic jam, you ain't swearing at him. Right. I've got a comment from somebody from the post-game show on Saturday. On Tuesday. And I want you both to react to it and tell me if you think this wonderful gentleman is true, you think he's right, or do you think he's going to be a little bit wide of the mark?
This is going to be the most entertaining season at Ipswich since Joe Royle was the manager.
The most entertaining season at Ipswich since Joe Royle was the manager, Lewis. Is he going to be spot on the money come May, or is he going to be a little bit wide of the mark?
I'd like to hope so after the other night. I mean, I know a lot of people have said it was only Doncaster, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And I think the impressive thing about the other night, a bit of a cliche from
£20 from Sarah Davis. Sorry, Lewis. £20 from Sarah Davis. Look at that. We're knocking things out of the park here.
I'll happily be interrupted all night if it keeps coming.
£10 from Mr. Ipswich Town. Fair play, lads. I feel like David Dickinson all of a sudden. Give me some Orange Town, somebody. What's a Bobby Dazzler? Sorry, Lewis. Love it, Ipswich Town. Really, which euros? That might be worth more. No, it won't be worth more when it's translated, will it? No. But still, we appreciate it. Don't think I'm not appreciating it because it's in euros. I'll take francs. Oh yeah, I mean, but Lewis, carry on.
No, like I say, hope so. I think one of the things that managers always used to say to me when I played football was, "You've got to earn the right to play." And I think in some of the early games of the season, we definitely had the ability, but it was silly errors and we didn't necessarily win the battle. Whereas the other night, I think, particularly first half impressed me more than second half because we controlled it and we won the battle. and then our football played out, and we took control. And I'd like to think we can do that in more games, and I think there'll be other teams that will come to Portman Road. I think it was said the other night in the aftermatch show, Doncaster won't be the first team that leave with a bit of a hiding. And I also think we're set up to play well away from home as well. So I think we're going to score goals away. I think we're one of the few teams scoring every game this season. So that bodes well. Entertaining stuff is certainly more entertaining than it was over the last probably 5-10 years.
Absolutely. Not the first team to have a hiding, says Lou, or won't be the first team, Mark. Do you think that's true? Because maybe before Tuesday, they were telling me we were going to give somebody a hiding, and I didn't quite believe them. But they came true.
We'd been saying this all of last 2 years under Paul Lambert, right? We've been sitting there saying, "Oh, we're going to give someone a good hiding. We haven't got out of his first gear or whatever," and it's just you never really kind of thought it was going to, because the kind of way we played football and the kind of players we had. But I think this is kind of different, and we have just won 6-0, so it's kind of easy to say now. But I think we've got genuine good quality now. All over the pitch. Whereas last season we had a couple of good players here and there, but it wasn't outstanding. And this League One side could potentially play Championship, really a bottom side sort of Championship side. So it's a good side. And I think in your question about the Joe Royle thing, I think the kind of play that Joe Royle was associated with was very fast tempo, scoring goals, we'll score more than you, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we have that about us because we can score goals. I back us each game to score goals now. Last season, you wouldn't back us to score at all. You wouldn't back us to hit a barn door. So, the fact that we were keeping clean sheets last year, but not this season as much after we've just had 2 clean sheets on the trot now. But it is that mentality if we can score more than you. And I think it's on par with Joe Royle's side, but you can only really gather that once it's the end of the season. Are we going to finish in the playoffs? Will we go up? Better season then, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's the variety. It's the variety of attackers we've got. So we've got pace in Burns, we've got direct running in Edwards, trickery in Selena, a passer in Fraser, all sat in those 3 positions behind the striker. And we can mix it up. Aluko came on, I know we were 6-0 up at the time, but he did all right and he did okay in the other game that he started, the Bolton game. We've got variety, whereas it was always a bit samey. We'd replace the sub like for like, whereas I think we can really mix it up now.
Well, you even look at the Joe Royle era, right? And we had obviously Darren Bent, Shef Kikuchi, all banging goals in, Tommy Miller, all that lot, right? But you take those players out of that team because they went the summer after, and we placed them with Nicky Forster, Sam Parkin, and whoever else had come in. We didn't score goals, so that we were kind of basing our team around those kind of 4 players, and then everyone else was all right, I suppose. But we have genuine quality now, like, down the flanks in central midfield, like Morsey. We've got Bon up front, and we've got players that can play a variety of positions in the midfield that were either very good at League One level last year or have performed at a Championship level. So these are decent players sitting on the bench. I sat there and I thought, when the 6th goal come in, I thought, we're making substitutions. I saw Nord was going to come on, but he didn't come on in the end because obviously Bonk got his goal. But you sit there and you think, if you're a Doncaster fan, you think, Christ, like Norwood's going to come on in a minute. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of caliber we've got coming off the bench, and that's testament to the way we are as a club moving forward.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And obviously, you both said there last year when we were changing games, we were changing it like for like and not any impact. What you mean with that is we were changing shit for shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Look at it as you say there Tuesday. Super sticker from Cruncher, £20 into the Chris Wade. Brilliant stuff, Cruncher. Love it. Leading by example. What a captain he would make somebody. But yeah, we were just weren't good anywhere in any department. Look where the players that left us ended up going. Majority of the league below. Yeah. You mentioned Norwood there. I'm not his biggest fan from recent times, but at this level, he's a bloody good player. Yeah, and you're bringing him off the bench. That's excitement. That's what you want to see. Nicky Forster with Sam Parkin, what dreams are made of. £10 for Stephen Davis. Love it, Stephen. Thank you very, very much, sir. Truly appreciate it. Aidan Cruncher, did anyone see the PC after match EFK interview? Cook would rather Foster. Yes, we'll be covering that on tomorrow's Friday press conference reaction show with the media mogul and the cruncher. I thought it was only a bit fair we get the media mogul with his inside track to make him squirm and answer what he thinks of the interview, because he's a big Cookie fan as well. So, but it was frosty, and there's a little bit behind it from what I can gather. We're going to try and speak to the interviewer as well, or get some comments from him or a statement or something, but we'll cover that tomorrow in a bit more detail. Lee Bayliss, that's why they went for 2 or 3 in every position. We now have cover all around the park. As we sort of finish off the Doncaster look, the question I want to ask yourself was, or ask you both, was Paul Cook obviously coming for a little bit of criticism early doors, some of it warranted, some of it not. I mean, Tux, you were Mr. Positivity a couple of weeks ago. You said we go unbeaten between Lincoln and now. There it is. And you were correct. I did say, would we win every game? And you said yes, but I'll take unbeaten. I'll take unbeaten. 7 from 9 is certainly a corner that's been
I'm not
turned.
Mystic Meg, mate. I can't be Mystic Meg, but what I can be is an aura of positivity. And, this is, we had people come on after the 5-2 game against Bolton, and it was like someone had died. It's
well, yes, it was. Yes,
unfortunately, this is what happens. We have to look to the positives, and it will be a long, tricky season. Look, there'll be ups and downs throughout this season, but we have to remain positive.
Absolutely. But one of the criticisms was his in-game management. Now, Tuesday, he did something, and I wanted to see if either of you picked up on it, and if you had, what sort of impact you felt it had in the game. He called them all over to the sideline, gave them a talking to, and then switched Selena from the middle to the left and brought Scott Fraser into the central position, into the number 10. And then from there, Selena got 2 assists. Fraser got more involved. Did you see that in the play Tuesday? And if you did or you didn't, how do you feel it made an impact? And was it a positive one? And if so, which of course it was, is that a sign that Cookie's growing in the role? Tuxford.
Yes, I think you had to look at Selena in the first half. I thought he was quite quiet. He wasn't really doing an awful lot, and then I think he switched positions with Fraser, and then obviously he got two assists out of it. He obviously played a really good ball over to someone as well, which I can't remember who it was now, but there's really good sort of passing there as well. Yeah. And Fraser come into the game a lot more as well. So I mean, we know that Fraser's best position is probably the number 10 role. He's being shunted out left because it's square pegs round holes type thing again. But he is a quality player, and you probably can't afford to have him on the bench. So, if they're both happy, kind of swapping there, then I think that's fine. But I would say that Selena's more of a winger than what Fraser is, just purely because obviously that's where he played for us before, and he's played there, for most of his career as well. So, but yeah, I mean, Cook's the type of manager that can see that. That's his kind of quality. If you're a bad manager, you don't see those kind of things that need to happen. But arguably you could say in previous games that he should have made substitutions, he should have done this, should have done that. But when a manager gets something right, you have to look at that and say fair play, because he changed that game for us really in a way.
Absolutely, and in that respects, then Lewis, is that something you want to see carrying on? Not necessarily the tweaks in game, but Selena out wide on the left and Fraser in the middle, because obviously we bought Scott Fraser, best number 10 in League One for the last couple of years, we were told. Selena, we know, is dangerous anywhere, but put 2 delightful, and I mean delightful, balls into the box for 2 goals. Do you want to see that from the start, maybe in a couple of games, and see how that plays out, or do you think that's something that you want to save in your back pocket?
No, I've been a big advocate of Paul Cook since he took over, and the only slight niggle I had was what he was doing with Scott Fraser at the start of the season, because for me he's a number 10 all day long. I did notice the change, and Selena created 2 goals from the left. He cuts inside, he can go outside. I think it actually also seemed to bring out the best in Penny down the left. Penny played great ball down the line to Selena for one of the goals when he cut inside. They were quite similar crosses for Evans and Bond's goals. Evans' header and then Bond's volley from Selena on that left-hand side, cutting inside on his right foot. So, I'd be playing him out there. And I think when we have Coulson back as well, he's going to look to get forward as well. So with Selena cutting inside, that would potentially create more space on the outside for Coulson as well. But for me, Fraser's got to stay in the 10 now. Him and Chaplin, I think, are outstanding players at this level, and playing just behind the striker. We obviously haven't seen the best of Chaplin yet, but I think we will over time. But yeah, for me at the moment, Scott Fraser's got to be the 10, and he's, as you say, he's one of the best 10s in the league.
Absolutely right. Accrington Stanley this weekend. Let's sort of shift our focus onto that. Before we do, quick word from one of the people involved in one of our new shows on the...
Hello, Talking Town family. I hope you're having a lovely week and you are excited about the weekend. We are surely on a bit of momentum with the town, and with it being my first game back since 2020, I'm expecting a lot from the boys. And having heard you guys telling me all about what's been going on, I'm very, very excited. Whilst I am talking about that, and what I wanted to share with you is about a new show that Martin and I have recorded, which is a new series for Talking Town. As if you aren't getting enough content already, what we wanted was a podcast version of the Away Days Guide, which I'm sure most of us check out before we go on our travels to support the Blues. So we talk about where to park, how to get there, what the ground's like, what you can expect from going to each different away game, and of course where to drink. I'll let you know where I've been and where I go, and also I've been asking on social media where other people would suggest what tips you have. There was a lot of mentions this week about how wet and cold it's going to be on those terraces, so I'm sure we're all looking forward to that. But look, this is, as the Talking Town mantra goes, this is a show by the fans for the fans. So it's all about us as an Ipswich Town army pulling together and letting each other know, sharing stories as well. In the first of the series yesterday, we had a lovely time, me and Martin, reminiscing about times that we've been to Accrington before, which obviously aren't actually all that positive, but still have some really nice memories from those trips. And I think that's what I want to get out of these shows, is to make sure that we are all sharing these happy stories, because being an away day fan is very, very different to being a home fan. As much as I love and miss the home games, there's something really special about being part of that away day crowd. So I'd love to bring that into the Talking Town posse, into your shows, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about you guys, all of your experiences on the away days. So keep an eye out for me tweeting or posting on the Facebook forum to ask you for your experiences of each away day as we come up to it, and of course any comments that you can drop in the post on YouTube to let us know what your tips and tricks and memories are from those games. I will see you all very soon. I'm going to pop in on the pre-match and post-match show tomorrow, Signal and Jaeger allowing, to come and let you know my thoughts on the team and the games. And I'm going to be joined by the wonderful Vicky. So 2 northern lasses for you to cope with. I'm sure Martin is going to love it.
Christ, Amy, I wanted an advert, not a fucking show. Oh, I love her really. Anybody else would have dared say that, but yeah, absolutely. Amy down there, check it out. As I say, Away Day Guide, or she said Away Day Guide. What she did say at the very top of that show, you might have forgotten, which is fine, it was a while ago. Love you again. She's expecting big things from this weekend. We have just won 6-0. Is it now expectation management, or is it let it fly, let it go? You also expect big things from this weekend. Mark, kick us off on that one. What are you expecting?
I mean, it's a bit of both, isn't it? I mean, you can't get carried away. We're not going to win 6-0 every weekend, but it's one of them sort of things where we have momentum now. There is a little bit of confidence about us. You'd feel that the confidence is so high that they could beat anyone. They feel like they could beat anyone. So we just have to see what happens at the weekend. I mean, Accrington are a different sort of side. I think they're still a decent side, kind of mid-table in the league at the moment. But they've always been a bit of a bogey side for us as well, haven't they? So
yes,
it's one of those sort of ones. And the manager, I forget his name now. Who's the Accrington manager?
John Coleman.
That's it. Coleman's very astute when it comes to playing us. And I remember sort of like, Colby Bishop, scoring against us as well. So, they'll set up to, have a good game against us. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we'll get a win and then we can score some goals. And again, it's like what we said before, we have that momentum now and we can score more than you. So even if they do score, we want to score more than you.
Absolutely. Lewis, you've done a little bit of research. You mentioned, you've heard what Tuxford said there. And yes, we've had some really dire games, as we were talking in the other show with Amy, which you can still catch on YouTube. Dire performances, dire results, not a great place for us. The League One Watford, I'm going to call it, because it's an horrible place, an horrible team, and we're not very good there. What can we expect from Accrington? What do you expect from Town? What is your little fact find mission thrown up for you, Lewis?
Yeah, so it kind of slipped under the radar what a bad run Accrington were on until I think after the game the other night on the train on the way back, I was listening to the other results, looking on the phone, and they got a bit of a thrashing, didn't they, against Oxford? And then I went back through and they got a bit of a pasting off Wigan. They lost at Sunderland. I mean, all good teams that I expect to be up there. But that just seemed quite unlike a kind of Accrington Stanley team to me. They normally kind of keep things solid, grind things out. Obviously, Cameron Burgess is going to be going back to his old stomping ground as well. But yeah, they've always come across as a bit of a solid team. So I did a little bit of research this afternoon, just listened in to John Coleman's post-match press conference. And it sounded similar to kind of Cook's at the start of the season. You know, individual errors, had a lot of possession. Even though they lost, 5-1 the other night, he sort of said had chances, weren't clinical enough, got punished. And having had a look at the goals, they did seem to struggle when players ran at them. So I'm hoping it'll be a good game for Burns and for Selena, and we can play at pace as we did the other night and really attack them from the off. I do think one of the things is around expectations. You know, I do think John Coleman's a bit of an old school manager, and off the back of those defeats back at home, I think he's going to try and keep things tight. A lot of people have mentioned the podcast with him and Paul Cook tonight, and I know that they're quite good mates. So I think, you know, there's that personal rivalry will come into it and pride as well. So I do think that they'll be quite difficult to break down. And I think as supporters, everyone just needs to keep calm, keep patient. It might take time, but we've absolutely got the quality to get the win there despite previous poor results visiting there in the past. There also always seems to be a red card against Accrington. I don't know if you remember, Dobra got sent off. There was a bit of a controversial red card last year that changed the game in our favour at their place. That was when Cook was in the stands watching. They were 1-0 up and they had a player sent off early doors, didn't they? So, you know, we just got to keep our heads, and I think, our quality should come through. And it's all about building confidence. I'd take any kind of win. You know, it's just keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, the legend is John Couch says, I'll still take a 1-0. Tom James then says, we're joint second highest scorers in the league. Aki have shipped the most. So, you know, it could be a 6, could be a 0, it could be anything. Those sort of facts can go one of two ways. Does Charles still play for them, Lewis?
Yes. So, Dion Charles seemed to score a hatful of goals last year with Oldie Bishop up front. And Charles scored the goal against us in that game at Accrington last year after a couple of minutes before the red card, and we turned it round and won 2-1. And I was just doing a bit of research, and he's not playing. He's completely out of favour, and it's all around kind of player dispute. I don't know the ins and outs, but a bit of a contract dispute. They wanted to sign a long-term contract. I think Hibernian, I read, came in for him in the summer. They knocked back a $200,000 deal, which is not very much for someone that had the season that he had. He's played for Northern Ireland as well. And he's just not in the team. Apparently he was on the bench last week for the Accrington under-23s in the Lancashire Cup against Blackburn under-23s. So it's completely kind of bomb squad territory, as obviously we experienced with some of our players. He's not getting a look in, and you just think, having had the defeats that they've had, could they come to some sort of negotiation, put things behind? You know, there was rumours that Hibernian are potentially going to come back in January. His contract's up in the summer. So, you know, I wonder if John Coleman might think, you know what, I'll swallow my pride, sit down with him and see if we can work something out for the next couple of months and then grant him his move. Because they can't go on, you know, as they are. I know he plays up top, so it's not necessarily going to help with the defensive side. But, yeah, I mean, one of the things he said was that they weren't taking their chances. They weren't clinical enough. So it'd be interesting to see, you know. Chances are he probably won't get a look in again, but something just keep an eye on when the teams are announced as to whether, you know, last chance Saloni, he turns to Dion Charles again, because he had such a good season last year. I was surprised. I thought he'd actually moved on, because I checked who played for him and I couldn't see his name anywhere.
Yeah, the thing is though, Tux, goal scorers mask all sorts of problems, don't they? We know that through experience of not having one, now having one. You can play really badly for 89 minutes, but if you've got somebody who's red hot and they score, that masks every single problem you've got. And are you surprised to hear about Dion Charles like that? Oh, I am. I know I am.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, it's. I think Lewis kind of said with swallowing the pride and things like that. I can't imagine John Coleman swallowing his pride. Is a typical Scouser, isn't he? But yeah, I think it's for a striker, it's based on your confidence. At the end of the day, you are that confidence kind of player. And you've only got to look at like the great strikers of yesteryear, like Michael Owen wouldn't do anything for God knows how long in a game, and then he's just got to pop up and score. So, these are, Michael Owen's an exception. He was a quality player when he was younger, but it's, you look at these kind of strikers that are in League One at the moment. They are kind of they've got a bit of pace about them. They're all either one or the other. They all either hold the ball up or they're very quick. There's no kind of in between, because otherwise it'd probably be the league above. But I think Bon is that difference. And I know he's only on loan to us, but I think that's probably maybe why he is kind of like top of the goal scoring charts, because he's got that bit about him where he's kind of all of those things molded into one. So he's got the pace, he's got the nasty streak, and he's got the strength. But yeah, Accrington are a funny side. They're certainly not the side that they were last year, but I just think they are a bit of a bogey side, and I think every side has their bogey sides. And I think for us, unfortunately, is Accrington a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, Watford was the champion equivalent, as I said at the start of the piece. But I just wonder if a deal could be done, or if there could be a deal there to be done in January for Charles then Tux, because
Well, it's if we need him, I suppose, isn't it? I mean, if Bon, touch wood, goes or doesn't go, then it might be. But at the same time, you've got to bring players in to get you over the line sometimes, especially if you're in a playoff position. That was the thing that always had a bugbear with bloody Evans, was that he would never bring in someone to basically solidify good positions. I remember Boxing Day 2014 against Brentford away, we won 4-2. Then we go home and we think, right, we just needed a striker just to get us up. And we didn't get that striker. He just couldn't be bothered to just invest that little bit more. All it took was probably 2 million. And,
Marcus Stewart in 99-2000 signed him in January. And I know he didn't score a lot of goals. People seem to think he got more than he did because of the playoff goals. I think he scored 2 in 2 and then didn't score until the playoffs, but got us over the line.
Got important goals.
It's those moments, though, that you realise how much that striker needs to come in and just deliver. It's like Kevin Phillips. Kevin Phillips, for the latter part of his career, was at 3 clubs, got him promoted just because all he had to do was come off the bench and score important goals. One in the playoff final for a penalty. So, these are the type of players that we probably need to have in January. And then, even if it was a short-term deal, just palm off at the end of the season. So, and
I think we've got that really in Joe Pickett. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of chat this week in terms of Pickett getting the chance, not getting his chance, not on the bench on Tuesday night. It's going to be those moments, as sort of Lewis says there. Marcus Stewart 2 and 2, then nothing to the playoffs. Joe Pickett is going to have a moment this year where we are looking at him and saying, he's coming into his own, or he came off the bench and came into his own, and you've got to be ready. You've got to stay ready. Him and Norwood, that's the most key, most vital thing they can do is keep pushing Macaulay Bon so hard, because the harder they push him, the more we've got.
This is not the first time they've been not starting. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when they were younger, they probably know they had to get to that level, especially Pickett. He was a very good goal scorer last year, but before that, no one really heard of him. So he was on a bench somewhere, whether it be at Wimbledon or wherever he was before, waiting for his chance. So it's when you move to a club like Ipswich, if you've got the shirt and you're playing well like Bon is now, you're going to keep that shirt because that's the way it should be, unless it's like a tactical reason or an injury or whatever else. But Pickett and Norwood, to have those kind of players on the bench is just unreal at League One level.
Raheem Harper, came off the bench at the post, obviously Tuesday night. Prediction League is now in play. Predict the 4 scores on the screen in a second, but very quickly, first of all, I will just do the random wheel. Here it is. There's the names of all the people that got the correct answer to Wednesday Town 1-1. They correctly predicted the score last week in the Prediction League, and these are the names available or eligible rather for the spot prize donated by Matt Stannard, which is never lost at home, an e-ticket. I am now going to spin it. Please, Lord, do not land on Richard Moss, because they'll call it a fix. They really will. The winner of the e-ticket for never lost at home. Will this make him happy? That remains to be seen. It is Curtis Yates, our very own happy chappy from up north. Curtis, congratulations. I will be in touch with details once I've got the details from Matt himself. But well done, Curtis. Look at that. A free competition, and he's won a prize. There is no spot prize this week, I'm afraid to say, but Prediction League is still in play. These are the fixtures this week. You've got Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly. Versus Ipswich. Crewe versus Cambridge. Colchester versus Salford. And Burnley versus Pointless Norwich. Lewis, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Colchester, Ipswich Town's B team versus Salford. What have you gone for?
Gone for a 1-0 to Colchester. Salford always seem to flatter to deceive. Dobra got his first goal the other night, so why not? Dobra goal, 1-0 Colchester.
Wow, 1-0 Colchester. The nil bit has been quite synonymous with Colchester this year, just in the wrong end, which I'm not surprised, let's be honest, with their attacking options. Tux, I'm going to lay it on the line with yourself here. I know you were a part of a podcast once upon a time that did some Premier League football. Burnley, Pointless Norwich, pointless in every way. Please, please, please tell me this is the weekend that Burnley turn it around and not bloody Norwich.
No, unfortunately, I think Norwich are going to get a 2-0. No, I'm joking. No, I think it will be Burnley, probably 2-0. Yeah, just Norwich don't look at it whatsoever. So hopefully Burnley will have a bit of gumption and score 2. So yeah, 2-0.
Beautiful. Love it. Burnley winning the game. Mike Wood says, where's the bonus game? The bonus game was last week's bonus game, London Bees versus Ipswich Town FC Women. If you've not yet done that, and I will check, but if you've not yet done it, please include it in this week's entries under your name and Twitter handle. Just put what score you also think for the wild card. That's London Bees versus Ipswich Town FC Women's. But it was on last week's Prediction League because I was a week early. My bad. So if you've done it already, don't do it again. Lee Brown says 2-0 Burnley. 1-1 for the Colchester game, says Lee Brown. Nick Muller says Ipswich 2, Stanley 2. Tom James, I've submitted my scores. 0 points incoming. Right. League table currently looks like this. Rob Smith is top. Mike Woods is second. So, Mike, you do want to make sure you got that in. Anthony Steele, Trevor and Stephen Davis. Right at the bottom there. Right at the bottom, you might just see him. He's right at the bottom. It's Matt Phillips with a grand total of 0. The rest is all very still to play for. Right. Where are we going now? Back to Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly. 1 to 11. Surely you both want to stay unchanged. Doesn't matter who's fit. We've heard today, Paul Cook, I think we've heard in the chat, Paul Cook's got a fully fit squad. Forget that. You just won 6-0. Surely, Tux, if everyone's fit, you're still keeping the same 11, are you not?
Well, the only change that I would make is Coulson coming in at left back. And that's really only based on the fact that I think he is the better player than Penny. But also I think he offers a bit more going forward and defensively, to be honest. But I think, like as Lewis said earlier, I think Penny had a bit of a difficult kind of 10-15 minutes to start off with. I mean, that's not why I'm taking him out of the team whatsoever, but he did have that kind of difficult sort of first period. But I think Coulson is that kind of player where you can't really afford to keep him out. I think he's a quality left back at this level. I think Penny was always coming in as probably the second kind of choice, I'd say. But that's not to say if he starts on Saturday, I'd be disappointed because obviously we have just won and, you know, why would you change a winning team? I've always said that you shouldn't really change a winning team. But if I had to make a change, it probably would be Coulson coming in at left back.
Yeah, I personally think it's probably the Ben Moore rating of 4. It's worked its way into your subconscious there, Tux, and it's playing away, it's eating away.
Yeah.
Lewis, you've heard him dropping Penny. You've heard him bringing Coulson in after a 6-0 clean sheet, 1 goal conceded in 3 games. Is that a big mistake from Tux? Has he made a mistake there? Is that a fatal Mark Fish error?
I don't think it's a fatal mistake at all. And I actually agree with every point that Tux has made on Coulson's the first choice, and I think Penny probably knew that he was going to get game time, but playing back up. For me, I picked my team as unchanged, but I didn't realise that Coulson was potentially back in the frame. I thought he was out for at least another week or 2. So if he is fit, then I don't know. I think I'd still stick unchanged. Only slight changes. I'd finish or start as we alluded to earlier, with Selena on the left and Fraser in the 10, rather than how we started the other night.
Yeah, and I agree with that. It's a very subtle change, but yeah, I do agree. If Coulson's fit, it's Coulson every week. I'm with Tux on that one. But Cruncher says Coulson's not fit. Spoke to his dad today. There you go. You see, that's more of a reliable source. Maybe then I don't know. But if someone says Paul Cook said fully fit squad, that I don't know. Who knows what to believe anymore from our injury? Because Cook likes to play that very close to his
I've noticed he started doing that now, because I think at the start of the season he was a little bit kind of open. He's a bit of an open book,
bit loose. Yeah.
But I think he's realised that if you tell too much to the media, that can kind of sort of backfire on you a little bit. I noticed that the other week. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to do, because if you give away your plans, you don't have to go down to the training ground. Just listen to his bloody press conference, don't you?
No, you really do. Yeah, absolutely. I have got to say, as we sort of come towards the end of the show, a very happy birthday to a top guy, Mr. Davis. Do I say how old he is today? Yes, I will. He is 50 today. Happy 50th to Steve Davis. Thank you for your support that you give Talking Town and the community. I hope that you feel better soon. I hear you're not feeling too well. But whatever you do, don't put 50 candles on a cake. It's not going to go well, particularly if it's a chocolate one. But happy birthday all the same. I've got to throw a joke in there. It's me in it. Curtis is not feeling too well either. So Curtis, get well soon. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I really am. Match day ticket, pre-game, post-game. We've got tomorrow's press conference live. How many times have either of you been singing the Selena song, by the way? Because you mentioned Selena, and now all I've got in my head is Selena. It's a great song, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there was quite a few new ones that I heard actually on Tuesday night, which is always quite nice. But yeah, it was just, as I said at the top of the show, it was just really good to be in amongst the crowd again, and meeting all the kind of contributors on this show as well. So yeah, it's a great sort of community that we've sort of all built together. So it's quite nice.
It is, and you're a big part of it, Tux. Tux, you're probably better position than I am. There's a flag that's Section 6 wave. Yeah. And it's got someone's face on it. Who is it?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I haven't got a clue.
Because Nan always says to me, why are they waving some bird's face around on that flag? I don't know.
To be honest with you, I've not paid enough attention to actually see who was on the flag. I just know there was a flag there, and that was about it. So yeah, probably not the best person to ask, actually.
Thank you. Anyone watching, please do let me know. I've got a bet with me, Nan, that it's not a woman. I've got a bet that it's one of the it's a man, and it's probably one of our ex-players. But she seems to think it's a woman, and I can't get a good look at the flag. Lewis, do you know who it is?
No, I'm Section 4, so I'm a bit further along the other side. So no, sorry, can't help.
There you go. Matt's done. I was trying to think. One of the Morty tuners walked like an Egyptian. Sarah, thanks, Gov. Sure, he's going to milk it now. 2 right. It's his birthday. Milk, my man. Colin Plum, Tux, you are a quality mate. Quality, mate. Look at that. Mariner says Ben Moore. Potentially. I'd love to see it, actually. If anyone's watching, of course they're going to watch it because Tux is on it, and Tux is one of their boys. I want to see a picture of the flag because I think it would look really good, but it's always waving in the bloody air, so you can never quite get a good look at it. Right, score predictions as we head into this weekend. Very quickly though, Lewis, I don't want to sort of embarrass you, but I might do anyway. I'm sorry about this. You're one of our Talking Town 5th Stand Ultras. You support the platform monthly, which is incredible. Thank you for that. You must get value from us. You've been with us from the start. If, like Lewis, you do get value from us and you want to support the platform, you can do so through a monthly contribution, just like Lewis does there. Not Tux, though. Don't know why. Sorry, Tux. I don't know where that came from. I just don't know where that just came out. From as little as £5 a month, 5, 10, 15, whatever you want to do monthly and whatever suits your budget, head to Ko-Fi, get it set up. You can cancel it at any point. Not that I hope you will, Lewis. Now you know that you can cancel at any point. I didn't put this one through, have I? But yeah, head to Ko-Fi. Details are there if you get value from us. Right, to end the show, a score prediction from you both and from the chat. Who wants to lead me? Lewis, you're the new guy on the block. Score prediction, please, sir.
As I said earlier, I think it'll be tight, but I have gone 2-1 to Town. I think all about getting that win, picking up, got some winnable games after Accrington as well. So, yeah, I'm going 2-1, but I don't think it'll be all our way like the other night.
Okay. 2-1 for Town. I've just had a message from the wife saying she's going out looking for petrol. I'll see you next month, darling. Tux, score prediction.
I think I went for 2-1, so I think I'll probably stick with that. I think 2-1 to Town. I think it's going to be a bit of a tricky afternoon because the pitch isn't always that great there, is it? From what I remember. So I think it's not going to really suit our style of play in terms of passing on the floor. But I am confident with the momentum we've got that we can just about get a 2-1 win. I think it will be 1-1 probably for quite a long period of the game. But I think we'll just iron out a 2-1.
I love it. I love the optimism. We've got a lot of 2-1s, a lot of 2-0s in the chat. Colin's gone for 3-1. So is Anthony Still. And he's pretty good at his prediction leagues, is Anthony Still. So, perhaps he's on the money there again. Robert Smith, 3-1. Nathan, 2-0. Matt Stannard, apparently your local Tesco manager posts updates on Facebook, so my dad told me. Does he? What, Sam, what? About petrol? That ain't going to work, is it? Because the moment he says there's petrol available, avoid Tesco Stowmarket because the fucking place will be swamped. Matt Witten, all the changing rooms. Cruncher, the playing service is top notch. Tux, new groundsman.
Well, there we go.
That will suit us even better then. Perhaps that's why they're losing these days, Lewis. You say earlier about not being Stanley-like. Maybe that's because they made it too nice there for away teams. I think there's a new stand for the away fans as well. So enjoy that if you're heading on down there. We are back tomorrow, 8:30. Myself, Matt Phillips, and he said Matt Stannard, Matt Phillips and Richard Moss with Cookie's press conference reaction. Join us there for more Town debate. Ben Moore, being here from the start. Love this family. We're built great to meet you all. See you next week. And some great banter flying around. Truly is. Right. We have raised a hell of a lot for Chris Wade and his London Marathon. Sunday, if you're watching this back, you can still get involved. Donate through YouTube's super sticker option. All the money from tonight's show I will stick over to Chris. I'll count it all up. But yeah, good luck for Sunday, Chris. And hopefully we'll be celebrating your run, Town's 3 points. But yes, this has been an FCA finalist presentation of Talking Town. That man there has got the best intro in the world. He is Mark Tuxford. This man here is the new kid on the block, Lewis Mark Fish Robertson. I'm, of course, the Gov. You have been truly wonderful. But until tomorrow, 8:30, with love, with care, I'm going to play our lovely intro.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding